Now, Boko Haram, the Nigeria-based armed group, has kidnapped 135 people in neighbouring Cameroon. At least 8 people were killed during raids on villages near the border with Cameroon on Wednesday. Boko Haram has increasingly carried out cross-border attacks since a regional force was set up to fight the group earlier this year. Aminu Gamawa is a conflict resolution analyst and joins us now live from Boston. Good to have you with us. Boko Haram has always carried out operations to a certain degree in neighbouring countries to Nigeria. But do you think that it is increasingly the case that they are now carrying out raids in countries like Cameroon?
Absolutely. Right from the start, this conflict has an international dimension, though it started locally in Nigeria in the northeast. Because the northeast is located in an area that shares border with Chad, Niger and Cameroon, Boko Haram has been operating in the neighboring villages and towns. And what we are seeing now is escalation of the attack and the insurgency from Nigeria into Chad, Niger and Cameroon. And the recent kidnapping in Cameroon is a threat not only to Nigeria, but also to countries that share border with Nigeria. And I think countries have now come together. They have renewed their commitment to jointly fight Boko Haram.
Indeed. It's interesting that there were reports a few days ago that some members of the group were said to be requesting possible negotiations with the Nigerian government. Do you see that as something that could lead to more widespread dialogue? Do you think the government is interested in any negotiations, or Boko Haram are interested in any negotiations?
Well, this is not the first time that the issue of negotiation is coming up. In the past, the government of Goodluck Jonathan has made several attempts unsuccessfully to negotiate with Boko Haram. One thing that I need to point out is, yes, definitely you cannot kill your way out of an insurgency like the one we have in the northeast, but at the same time, you cannot negotiate from a position of weakness. There are elements of Boko Haram that are committed to violence and they want to fight. And I think both the countries of Nigeria, Niger and Chad should be ready militarily to engage Boko Haram. But at the same time, they should not foreclose the option of dialogue, because as we speak now, there are many Boko Haram fighters that were actually conscripted and forced to join the sect. So those who are willing to renounce violence, come back and surrender, I think the government should engage them, but that should be done in a transparent way, in a way that at least will not endanger the people who are already captives in the hands of Boko Haram, and in a way also that will not betray the other victims of Boko Haram who believe that Boko Haram deserve nothing but punishment from the government.
Indeed.
So I think it's a very delicate issue, and we hope the government would weigh all the options.
And of course, the fighting has caused a huge humanitarian crisis, hasn't it? Thousands of people have fled Nigeria. Many villages in the northeast are standing empty. People want to come home, but can they be protected?
That is a very important question. The Boko Haram insurgency actually has caused one of the worst humanitarian crises currently in the world. Thousands have been killed, millions have been displaced, means of livelihood has been destroyed. Within the country, we have internally displaced people who are no longer in their homes and towns. We have refugees in neighboring countries who are also now battling with Boko Haram in their own territory. I think this is a wake-up call for both the countries involved and for the international community as well. So far, one commendable thing that the Nigerian military and its neighbors have done is to liberate the areas that were formerly occupied by Boko Haram. But that is not enough. The areas have to be secured, and there has to be a deliberate effort to rebuild those areas and to provide protection so that the internally displaced populations and the refugees can go back safely to their communities. This is something that is going to take time. This is something that requires collaboration between the countries involved and support of international organizations and all other people who believe in peace and reconciliation.
Good to speak with you. Thank you very much indeed for your thoughts there. Aminu Gamawa in Boston there. Now, 7 people have been killed in airstrikes by the Egyptian army in the northern Sinai Peninsula. Many of the dead are women.